I think that the person who started the PE is a plastic surgeon. Like he's the one that went and got funding and things. So for pretty much, except for the direct PE, everybody admin wise, the CEO, president, they're all plastic surgeons who actively practice.
Hello and welcome to Beauty and the Biz, where we talk about the business and marketing side of plastic surgery. I'm your host, Catherine Maley, author of Your Aesthetic Practice, as well as my new book, The Plastic Surgery Practice Playbook, as well as consultant to plastic surgeons to get them more patients and more profits. Now, today's special guest is Dr. Vinaya Rednam, a board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon in private multi-surgeon practice in the Woodlands in Houston, Texas, and she's been there 11 years. Now, Dr. Rednam received her medical training at the University of Missouri, Columbia School of Medicine, her plastic and reconstructive surgery training at the University of Kentucky, as well as a fellowship in aesthetic surgery at the University of Florida. Dr. Rednam, welcome to Beauty and the Biz.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So what I always like to start with was, how did you move all around the country and then you ended up in Houston? How did that happen?
Because I like cold weather. I ended up here at the time when I finished my training, I was single and I'm very close to my family, and my older brother is a pediatric oncologist here. And so I said, hey, I actually don't like the cold very much. So I thought, well, let me move to Houston. And that's really what brought me here.
Oh, so you've been there the whole time, and you also ended up in a very unusual practice. It's a multi-surgeon practice. Is it a private practice that's privately owned, or is there private equity involved, or what?
So when I started, I was the third surgeon to join the practice. We've been as many as 10, and now we're right now 8. But we did get acquired by private equity about 2 years ago.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about private equity here, and I have to tell you, it was huge for about a year, and then it plateaued. And now we don't talk about it much because there's been not great stories, a couple good ones. How's it going over in your place?
To be honest, it's been pretty good. We're in a very unique private equity. We're actually a reconstructive private equity, which is a little different than some of the other ones in plastic surgery. While I do a lot of cosmetic surgery, our focus is actually majority of our surgeons are reconstructive surgeons. And I was the most skeptical of my group, of the partners, when I said, are we sure we want to do this? But to be honest, things have been pretty good. I really think that they've held by their word and haven't interfered in places we don't want them to interfere. But at the same time, they've supported us a lot in places where we need it.
That is so interesting. I don't usually work with recon. I'm a cosmetic revenue specialist, and private equity and cosmetic don't get along at all. It hasn't worked out well. And maybe that's a difference, because on your website, I wondered, why are they saying cosmetic and reconstructive and penis? And that explains it. So you are very unique. You have a lot of variables going on. You've got 8 organs. Holy cow. And you're in all different sides of medicine. So how does that work?
We're largely plastic surgeons, but we do have ENT surgeons as well. So I think ENT and plastics, we're kind of cousins, right? We have a little overlap, but there's certainly things they do that we have no idea about, and vice versa. But we're able to, I think we're coexist pretty well. There's challenges, right? Sometimes when you have the 2 different specialties in there, where one has needs and the other one has to bankroll it, or the other way, and that sometimes causes tension. But I think that it's worked pretty well for us because there are a lot of combination procedures we do together as well.
Now, are you all under one roof?
We have 2 locations, but generally, yes, we're under one roof because a lot of us go to both of them.
And is there one OR or 2?
We actually have 3 operating rooms, and we're about to have a 4th one. So we keep things pretty busy just with our own surgeons.
Okay, great. So when you came on at 3, did you know it was going to grow and grow and grow? Like, were you?
No, we were in a tiny office in the medical center in downtown Houston. And I think we had 3 clinic rooms and an operating room. And I mean, we used to be so full in our waiting room, but you'd see patients sitting on the floor. And then before we knew it, now we have 2 10,000 square foot spaces, and we have medical spas. I always thought we would do something great, but I didn't, at that point, would have never imagined we'd be where we are now.
So where you are now, how much of your practice, your personal practice, is recon versus cosmetic?
So I'm probably 70% cosmetic and 30% reconstruction now.
And are you happy with that?
I am. I am. My focus is post massive weight loss. So that's really where what I love doing. We all kind of we have overlap, but that's really, I'm the person that does majority of that in the practice and I love it.
So how does that work out? If somebody calls, because
Mhm.
you have the full menu, you're kind of like a New York deli, like you have everything
Yeah.
you want. How do leads get divvied up? You know, and
So I would say we all have our own individual websites, even though we have a group website. We've kept that. We've always that's been something we're unique in our private equity that we're the only practice that does that. That has our own websites, our own social medias. Like we've always done that, so we have our own flavor. But we also each have our own coordinators. So I have two patient care coordinators. They are the only ones that make appointments for me. I don't have my front desk make appointments at all for me. And so if random leads come in, which most of the time people come in wanting a single surgeon, then we rotate those based upon what the surgeon's preference is for what they like to do. But I would say majority of and we have associates and we have partners. So certain things will go more towards the associates and certain things, but the partners, I would say most of the leads come directly for us. They're not just somebody calling in.
that was going to be my next question. Are you all partners? Are you all employees? What makes up this practice called what's it called? My Houston
My
Surgery.
Houston surgeons.
I didn't even know
Uh,
you had your own website. When I looked at you,
yes.
I was told, to look at.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Good. No.
Yeah, so we're four partners right now and four associates, and then we actually also have some breast surgeons who are joining us as well soon. So we'll have three more surgeons joining us soon, as well as another plastic surgeon actually. So we'll have former surgeons joining us soon. But we are an ever growing. We called ourselves Myces Surgeons. We used to have a different name when I joined. That really was the one senior partner who started the practice. I was the first to partner, and then as we kind of started bringing partners on, we realized we could do so much more if we had a name that represented our city, and allowed us to bring on other surgeons that didn't have to be one specific specialty. So we wanted to be wider.
So do you have the choice of just staying an associate and getting a salary versus like buying in and becoming partner?
Yes, you do. The way that we're structured is that if you get to a certain point as an associate, you rather than you buying in, you actually get bought out. The way the structure is with our private equity, so you would then get a salary, and they would buy you out, and you become a partner at that point.
And then you share in the profits?
Nope, not the way that we do it. So we have a certain portion that we share. Really, at the end of the day, associates pay down expenses for us largely,
Mhm.
and then we've just switched. So we still have a lot of control over how we choose to divide things. So we have a percentage that's kind of shared, and a percentage that's based on each one of our individual profitability, what we're bringing in. We used to be that before, where we were 100% eat what you kill,
Yeah.
and now we're a little bit more of a hybrid of that.
This is very unique.
We are. I know we are. I know we are.
Yeah, I haven't heard it this way before. I have heard you buy in and then that's how you become a partner, but you're saying they buy you out and you become
Yes.
a
Now,
partner
when
seller?
I became a partner, I did buy in. I had to buy into the practice. We
Right.
got a valuation. I did all that. But now with our PE, it is yes. You once you reach a certain level, they approach you and they buy you out. So
Is that more advantageous to you, that scenario?
I think so because generally most P's it's a 5 year contract, and so you're getting an upfront payment, right, of something that you would have made over 5 years.
Mhm.
And so the idea then is like if you're getting all that at once, then you certainly can do a lot more things with that. So I do think it's advantageous, and I think it's also rewarding people for working hard. So it takes if you're even part of a PE, you still have to have a carrot. You still have to have something that makes it so that if you're an associate, you see value in the PE as well.
Well, and there's that earnout, that earnout clause where things have to go well for you to get paid again. Like the second apple, the second bite of
Yes, say
the apple.
goodbye. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
Which I've actually been really skeptical of because quite a few of the PE groups they didn't know how to work with surgeons, and
Yes.
people do not understand that you're not normal people. Like you think differently. So there's been a lot of issue there where you better get the money up front in the first bite because the second bite may never come. But it sounds like you guys have figured out the formula.
I think that the person who started the PE is a plastic surgeon. Like he's the one that went and got funding and things. So for pretty much, except for the direct PE, everybody admin wise, the CEO, president, they're all plastic surgeons who actively practice.
No.
And so they care a lot more because if it negatively affects me, it negatively affects them and their practice. So that was a big reason when we were going through our due diligence, we are like, this is actually a pretty decent thing going on because they like you said, they understand. My first question is, I have two coordinators. You're going to make me get one. Are you going to downsize that? I have two for a reason. Are you going to take away some power because you're going to try to cut the salary lines? And the first thing they told me, they're like, why would we do that to somebody successful? Like, why would we do that? And I'm like, I hear it all the time with PE that they do stuff like that. And
Because they have to cut costs to add value. And so they either have to make you more productive or you have to do the shortcut and just cut costs, And so fantastic. I love that the plastic surgeons are running the show. That's the only way it possibly work. It just, it doesn't otherwise. Would you say you like it a lot because you don't have to deal with the business and marketing side of plastic surgery?
Well, we still have meetings every month. We still make our own decisions. We have them for guidance. We think of them as a silent partner. And if we have disagreements, they're the person we then go to and we say, hey, we're not agreeing on this. We need advice on this. And we definitely have budgets we have to keep to, but it's pretty like we have a say in our budget. So, I mean, I really feel like they've been very reasonable.
That is fantastic. I'm really glad to hear that because I don't normally hear that, and that's fantastic.
Yes.
When you have a big boat like this, and there are so many variables to it, and so many egos, and so many visions and values, and I mean, it's there's nothing easy about it. But you started there early, so you got to gradually grow into this. Can you imagine joining it right now with all this going on? Like, would that be more scary, or was it scarier to join just three going, what are we doing?
I think it'd be more scary now. And we see this with people who are interviewed because we always are open interviewing people, want to grow. And we do see a lot of people are scared because of the reputation of private equity. And so for me, it was like, I got to be one of the decision makers to decide we're going to move forward because that had to be a unanimous for us to go. And so I think that like, it is harder because now you come in and they're like, well, I hear all these things. And a lot of people, especially attendings and stuff, will advise you, don't, private equity is bad, don't do that. And so it is hard sometimes because some people like I think we've lost some good candidates because they're just too scared about the aspect of private equity because they're brand new doctors too sometimes and they just don't want to make the wrong decision.
It's too iffy for them. Like they're safer going to a hospital,
Yeah.
Until they get fed up with that. And then they're ready, spread their wings. But you have to decide, like you have to pick your poison and what's your risk tolerance to do things. Let's say you want to build, or let's say you want to buy like some endoscopic equipment. Can you just do it? Do you have to have a full meeting about it? Like, how do you acquire things that
no. So for example, I just requested some equipment and we have our budget, like we have kind of our yearly budget for things. So if that falls in that yearly budget, then I just have to ask my materials person to purchase it. If it's something over that's a big purchase and let's say we want to buy a new device, then we would have to make a case for us buying that new device. But again, as long as we have a strong case, we've really yet to get a no. We decided marketing wise, we wanted to do it differently. They said, okay, well, here's your budget. You guys decide how you want to divide it up. So
see, because you all have different interests,
Mm-hmm.
Like if you buy a laser and I don't want to use the laser, why am I paying for it? That kind of thing. Doesn't that happen there?
It does. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. We have arguments like any practice, but I think it's also we also look at though, who's driving revenue, right? So if you're asking for something and you're a high producer, well, okay, you can sell it and you utilize it, then why would we say no, especially if it's going to increase revenue? I think that the people that probably get most frustrated might be some of the newer doctors who want things, but their revenue isn't there yet for them to ask for all of that yet.
Nor should they.
Yeah.
I'm watching these new people coming. They need to cool their jets there. You have to go do something first before you start, building your own practice and buying land. And you didn't even get out in the world yet, and
Yeah.
or you join somebody and you want a killer salary and you want everything.
Oh, yeah. We get some insane requests sometimes, and we're like, if that's what you're looking for, I don't think we're the right place. I mean, private practice is still hard. Even in a group like ours, you do have a lot of security and support, right? And, we have our own ORs. You come in, you don't have to buy your own equipment, but at the same time, you still have to know how to hustle. You still have to know how to get out there and find your strengths and to stand out of a crowd too.
Hello, it's Catherine with a quick announcement. My new book, Beauty in the Biz, the Plastic Surgery Practice Growth Playbook, is at the printer. Now, it's based on 175 interviews with top plastic surgeons across the country, what they're doing differently to convert more, retain more, and profit more. You can pre-order a copy of the book at beautyandthebizbook.com. Now, back to the show. Regarding staff that you mentioned, you have your own, but how much control do you have over your staff?
So we do tell tell everybody, and we do mean this, you are all part of my Houston surgeons, but certainly my staff some of them have been with me almost I think my longest staffer has been with 9 years. They're still my staff because I utilize them all the time. They don't work for anyone else, but should they ever, if somebody was needed to be pulled for something, I'd still be asked first if that was okay. But they're my staff. So it's not usually an issue. The associates do share more staff. The partners definitely have more individualized staff, but we also are the ones that bring in the most revenue and utilize people the most.
Well, one of your challenges is developing a culture, because there's a good chance it'll be this. You have your little team. Everyone has their own little, and you protect your team. Does any of that happen? It has to happen. But is there one person over there, like the visionary, that's saying, no, we work together. We're a culture that is a team. It's a team,
That's been our biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Our manager is excellent, and that's always what we're telling everyone. We're a team. The problem is, and I can say this as a surgeon, we are difficult people, and not all of us, I joke. One of my partners always says that surgeons working in groups are like eagles flying in formation, and eagles don't fly in formation. And it's because it's top down. So I'm a certain type of leader. I have other doctors I work with who are different leaders. And so we do butt heads on that, because I am very much a person that's like, we're all here to take care of each other and help each other. And then we have other people who are like, my people aren't going to do anything for anybody else. And so that can become difficult, because then it's like you're saying one thing, but different people are willing to do and share resources differently.
Well, I'm also wondering about the patient experience, because that also has to come from the top down. Like, this is what we expect from a patient experience. Because if a patient feels like they walk into this huge place going, what? And I just, 14 different people. I haven't bonded with anybody because, it's all very compartmentalized. How does that feel there? Do you feel like your patient from A to Z has a good, smooth experience, or it's a tad choppy and roller coasterish?
I feel like they have a good experience, but I also have worked really hard to figure my team out. Now, we share front desk.
Right.
We do have some nurses who are just float, as well as medical assistants who just help with everything. But if you're coming to see me, other than checking at the front desk, everybody you see is part of my team. You're never going to see somebody else, short of somebody being on vacation. So I think that we do have a really smooth. Now, I can tell you, not every doctor in my practice feels that way about their experience, but some of them are newer and some of them haven't worked to build a team the way I have. So I think that's where the individual leadership does show through for the patient experience differences, I'd say.
But also, that was the initial part. Then there's the surgical part, and you have all the surgery assists and nurses and MAs and post-op care and recovery nurses. Does that feel pretty fine-tuned?
Yes, because our surgery staff is different. Now, when I first started out, if you were a nurse in clinic, you're a nurse in the OR, but we have OR nurses, we have OR scrub techs. Everything is separated. They don't work in clinic and we don't work there's no back and forth between. I have a PA, so I like that's my only assist. Now we do have some of our scrub techs are first assist, so you can definitely like request an assist with it. But because they're all that we don't use agency, they're all our people, so it really is smooth because it's all the same people you're seeing every day. We work with the same anesthesia group and have forever, so nobody's new or strangers in that area for us either.
But they've all been taught about customer service. I mean, they're cool.
I would tell you that I don't know. I think we have nice people who work for us, but I can't tell you that there's been any customer service training time spent on that for like staff in the operating room, things like that. I think we just are very lucky to have very nice people with common sense. But no, I would love for us to have, I would love for our front desk to have a lot more customer service training.
It's so funny. The front desk always is ignored, and they're the very first point of contact. And they
Yes.
make or break this whole relationship if they like. First of all, if they won't answer the phone, or you give you the phone tree from hell, or they're rude when you visit, or they're not even rude. They just don't even look up. Like that can just hurt everything. So
It's hard.
I would think that would be the most challenging because you have your own reputation and how you want things done. And you don't have total control over it. So
Yes.
would you say that's one of the challenges or one of the biggest challenges?
For sure, for sure. And it's an area we have, I mean, because of the size of our practice, we don't have one front desk, right? We have a call center. We have like at least 5 or 6 front desks. We have separate checkout. So, I mean, it is more complicated and it's a high turnover position, just because the nature of people who do front desk don't always stay very long. And so that's a challenge. One of the ways I've gotten around it, not purposefully, is just that, like I said, my coordinators make all my new patient appointments. So that's very consistent and they've had years of training. I send them for training every year and they actually have a coach they work with too. So that's something I personally invested in because I knew the value of it. And I think it's worked really well for me. I think more people in my practice want it, but nobody wants to pay for it.
Yeah. But it's an investment. It's investment that'll make you money over and over and over if you get the right people on board and get them trained.
Yes.
It's such a fundamental thing that's so discarded, but so important. I just find I just wish people would take more care of the front desk, and how is a patient handled from the time they call just to get through the journey. How's your journey there? Well, actually, it'll come out in your reviews. Are things pretty good there?
I think so. I think at least for my patients, because they do spend so little time actually interacting with other than checking in, checking out, my reviews always have all of my personal staff all over them. So I do think, but like I said, I can't say that's the same for everybody in the practice because almost every other doctor in our practice has the front desk make their appointments. And that was a choice that we could choose which way we wanted to do it.
Oh, for sure. In your position, I would be every good lead that calls and wants to consult with you, go straight to the coordinator, period.
Yeah. Yeah. And people will get annoyed because it's an extra step and my coordinator might be on the phone. But like at the same time, I'm like, I understand, but I feel the experience will just be so much smoother and easier even if it means you don't immediately get to talk to somebody.
Okay. So let's talk about marketing. I did not know you had your own website. You also have your own Instagram?
I do. I have my own Instagram as well.
That's such a good idea because I was looking on, My Houston Surgeons and I thought, she's getting buried in there, You
won't see me much on My Houston Surgeons Instagram because my Instagram is so active. I get majority of my leads from my socials. So it's sort of just been because that's so focus for me on it that sometimes we do have a marketing team in-house and we have social media, but I think it's just sometimes they don't grab me because I'm always recording for other stuff.
Right. I'm just glad you have your own identity. But I did not know that. So I'm hoping other patients know that. They must, how many followers do you have?
I have 106K followers.
Go. Yeah. So I'm glad because the practice Instagram, those never work because you're not bonding with anybody. Like it's just a free for all kind of thing, So.
The funny thing is our practice Instagram traditionally has been a good recruiting tool for staff. So for them to see the environment that we're in, because I do think we have a fun environment, and that's usually how we've found, like, staff have found us, has been through that. But I agree. I don't know how many people really are picking us because each one of us has our own socials, and a lot of the doctors have like pretty good socials. So I would assume that even if they see us there, that they're still going to follow them to their own social.
Oh no, I think that's a great idea. You use it as a recruiting tool. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I would do it for the doctors and the staff. So I would make sure 30% of that is you guys having fun
yeah,
and the surgeons making money.
yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Regarding the social though, how much time are you devoting to it? And did you get some help?
It's a full-time job. I have a full-time personal assistant, and so who is not part of the, like, on my, that's my personal assistant, not something my practice pays for. And she also helps me social media. She helps me with everything. So when I hired her, it was because social media was becoming so all encompassing for me and I was burning out on it. And so having somebody in house who could help me that way has been huge.
So is she following you around with the iPad and the iPhone?
So she works from home a couple days a week. The rest of the time, I still film a lot of my own stuff,
Well,
but now I can throw it in a folder and she edit it. She edits it and she can put it up and she can, if I have to set up anything, she sets all my meetings up. She does all that stuff, and it's allowed me to spend more time on things that I need to be spending time on.
that's how to do it. The way the name of the game in today's world is how can you do more in less time with less hassle with less people involved. And
Yeah,
that's how you do it. You segment things. And I think everybody, I also have an assistant. I think everyone should have an assistant who's busy because they will keep you organized. And now you don't have to think of everything. You have this person who gets to think of everything, and it's game changer. Good.
it is. It's been amazing. And, I like do the social media. I do my own personal brand stuff that's outside of my practice. I do a podcast too. So there's just so many things that I'm doing that, like, I need that person to help keep my brain
Yeah.
organized.
The podcast was funny. Like I've done over, like, I don't know, 370 of them. And when I first got into this, I thought, oh, how hard can this be? Oh my God. You have to have a coordinator, and that is
Yes.
their job to make sure there's a guest every week, and everything goes well and technology doesn't mess up. And but I'm hoping yours is consumer driven.
It is. So my brand is the confidence stock, my personal, like, that's how I always put myself out there. And so that's my podcast. And it started off as I want to do a plastic surgery podcast. So this will be a great idea. And so I'm not as many episodes, but I've had almost 90 episodes now. And it's done really well. I'm actually ranked for plastic surgery on Apple and Spotify in the top 10. So it started off as, let's just try this. Somebody suggested it. And now I'm like, oh, I guess we're being serious about this. So I do have a ton of patients we send that way. And then we get patients who are like, oh, I listened to you talk about that on the podcast. And I get plastic surgeons on, I get business people on. So it's become more than just plastic surgery, but I do every third or fourth guest is always medical. And it's great. It's been such a cool networking tool for me too. I've just met so many amazing people through it.
Well, I know when I was doing it originally, I was going to be all the content. And then I realized quickly, I can't talk for an hour a week for how long? I mean, I know a lot, but this is going to get ugly pretty quick. And then I realized, wait a second, why don't I just interview the surgeons? Like, that they have a story and they all have a different story. And I'm thinking, you surgeons could crush it with patient stories, because that's what we all want. We want patient stories.
Yeah.
Have you thought, or do you do that now?
Yes, I've had some patients on as well, because I do a lot of the post weight loss. So those have been some of the most compelling stories for them to talk about, like, their life after surgeries, after the weight loss, and it's nice. I've had people on who weren't my patient but had issues, and we talked through, like, how do they get through that, all that type of stuff. So it's I feel like I've upped my game a lot. I've learned a lot from a lot of these other surgeons and people too, just by having them on the show.
So what marketing channels are you using? I'm assuming you have a lot of poles in the pond, as they say.
So you mean like where all we put things? So I do a lot of socials. I don't actually do, like, I actually just talked to a PR person today. I've used PR in the past.
Mhm.
But I kind of took a break from it because I thought, well, maybe I could do just as well. And we were doing a lot of our own outreach with my assistant. And then we do some ads for the practice and things like that. But I
Mhm.
truthfully don't do a ton of marketing. It's a lot of it now. I've built up enough that a lot of it just comes organically.
I honestly think the PR game, unless you're in New York on Park Avenue where you're near all of those people you need to know, the regular PR people in Houston, I mean, they have contacts in Houston, like they could get you on a cover of a magazine, but quite frankly, you could pay for that on directly. You can just,
Correct.
so I don't know. I think you can almost do better on your own. I'm not sure it's worth it anymore.
I did feel like the people I was with before, it was also a lot of commenting on what celebrity got Botox. I'm like, I mean, I can do that, but that's not who I'm trying to pull in. And so, who I'm looking at right now has a lot of plastic surgeons and dermatologists who are people that I aspire to be and see things that they're doing. And so I was like, okay, maybe this is a worthwhile
Yeah.
group to talk to. So, I think the biggest thing that's different for me now too is I'm very niche down in what I do. And I think that when I was younger and I was doing everything that like it didn't make sense to do that because I didn't really know who I wanted to be in plastic surgery.
Right? So your niche is weight loss. They've had
Hmm.
major weight loss, right?
Yes. Hmm.
Is that where the revenue is coming from as well? Or
Hmm.
because that can be
One patient might be 8 surgeries over a couple of years.
right.
I do these 8 hour surgeries. We do big, I guess like these big makeovers almost, where I'm taking like 10, 20 pounds off of skin. And so they're dramatic, but I also really enjoy them. And it's a space that a lot of plastic surgeons don't love. And with all this stuff going on with GLPs now, medications, like it's only growing. So I feel happy to love it, but also be a unique person in that space.
You know what? It's not a typical cosmetic patient. Psychologically, they're not the same. However, because of that weight loss going on, that is such good timing right now. If you enjoy doing that, I don't know where they're getting all this money though. I mean, my goodness, like that, those 8 surgeries, I
A
think.
lot of people finance, so we carry a lot of different financing plans. I would say a ton of people do that, and I think that like I have people who will contact us 3 years ago, and then they have their surgery theory because we give them an idea of what the pricing is going to look like. They save. So it's a huge investment. It 100% is, especially if you're going to do all the surgeries. But I think that like people just, and I would actually tell you that they are actually becoming more like the average cosmetic patient. The expectations aesthetically for weight loss patients has become much higher. It's not just like take the skin off. They want to look really good now. They want to look really good.
Well, I used to wonder, are they good word of mouth referrals? Like, do they hang around
Mhm.
each other and talk to each other? Are they part of groups, weight loss groups? Do you find that they're good word of mouth referral sources?
There's huge social media communities now. So there are weight loss celebrities now. And a lot of these ladies and men just start off by sharing their journey and they resonated with people and some of them millions of followers. And so if you end up operating on one of these people and then they talk about you, then all of a sudden you have all these people who are like, well, I want to go to who did that. And so that happened to me with one person and it was like, wow. And then I just, and then it's now you keep getting these people and then they get on social media and they talk about you and it's not marketing I have to pay for. And, they're really excited to share because that's been a big part of what they've done with their identity, sharing their whole journey.
Yeah. God, if that's where I would concentrate. Can I get them on that surgical journey part, though, like the post weight loss part? Anybody who has done it, it's so hard to get that done. But if you can, like them walking into your practice, them meeting you, you talking to them, you showing them what the possibilities are, them going into surgery, the whole thing. Then the post op of that. Oh my gosh, that was that. Have you ever done that? Can you get that?
We have. I actually a few years ago I called it my patient project, and I gifted 3 patients every month a photo shoot. And so we did like they got hair and makeup done, they got a photo shoot. We did like a big art gallery reveal of everyone's pictures next to their original photos. Like so, it was really cool, and we're going to do it again next year. But we do a lot of that because nothing connects people more than hearing their own story. Like listening to somebody being like, "That's me too." That's
Yes.
me too. So that 100% has been the most powerful thing. We have a videographer who comes in whenever we need him for things, and so we do exactly that. We have people kind of give us before surgery, after surgery testimonials, and talking about like what their experience was like with us.
Yeah. God, if there's any way you get that video, that step-by-step video, you'll watch a lot of not a lot, facial people who get facelifts. Some of them will show their whole story, like from being,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's the surgeon's wife who agreed to the video.
Yes. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and whatever it takes, there's nothing better when you're thinking about doing something massive for yourself to watch the journey,
Yes.
like, and see every step. Like, how bad was it? The post-op wasn't that bad at all. I was drinking smoothie shakes that made all the difference, or whatever. It's those little details that can it helps the patient so much, take away the fear and the doubt and the uncertainty.
Well, and the hard part too is like we, for example, our facial aesthetics surgeons, like they can show those results really fast. People get that media grab. For us, you got to wait some months before we show it, and so it's been nice to try to show that in between time too for people. But you're right. If somebody posts like, "Oh, it's only 2 weeks and I'm walking around town," it's like it's not necessarily because of me, but it's just again, it's connecting with someone. They're like, "Oh, it's not that scary. I can have this surgery," and like I said, I've been very surprised. It is not all rich people who come and have these surgeries. It just takes some being financially smart about things and knowing how to save for them.
I mean, honestly, though, this, like an average body, like whole body, because it's the whole thing. Actually, they need a facelift too, but they need a facelift and a neck lift. And then it goes right down the line. They need their breast, need their back, their
I
front.
mean, it's you could definitely if you have somebody who gets everything done, they're definitely looking at six figures over time, right? So it's
Totally.
yeah.
I mean, oh, wow. Like, I'm just wondering, like, how do you, how do you find those people who could come up with that wherewithal financially, physically, emotionally? Like, are they?
I mean, we're not looking. My coordinators are so good at talk. We will talk through all of this. I personally won't bring you in for a consultation if you're not financially in the place for this, right? Because I'm not looking to bankrupt anybody. This is supposed to be something good for people. So they will have these conversations with them over the phone before they ever meet me. And then once we kind of get to a place, and if they need assistance, we guide them to what they can do to help with financing. And for some people, it means, okay, you want 7 surgeries, but we can only afford one. So let's focus on the one that you really want to do. And I literally had one lady who she'd have a surgery. She goes, when I pay off that card, I will book my next one. And so it's like, it's just about people, if you want it bad enough, you will figure out a way to do it.
Especially women, we definitely are resourceful when we want something.
Yes.
But I see that all the time with the post-op. They'll do one body part, they'll go straight to a next body part, and sometimes it takes years. So no, they're a good patient.
Yeah.
Patient.
They're wonderful, and they're generally very happy patients. They're really happy. Like they've been through a lot of rough times, and they're just so excited. So I do feel like it's a very happy population.
Yeah. Any issues with photo consents? And video. Any just for normal everyday cosmetic?
Yeah.
Any tips or tricks on how to get them to sit with you in a video or show their photos?
So what we will often do if somebody is not sure, we'll say, why don't we go ahead and film it? Because especially weight loss patients, they're like, I can't imagine what I'm going to look like. And then afterwards, like, I look so good. Yeah, share. I want to share all my photos now. So a lot of times if we really suspect someone's on the line, we'll say, can we go ahead and record it? We're not going to do anything with it. And, afterwards, if you decide you change your mind, you let us know. And we've had pretty good success with that.
That is such a great pearl. Can we go ahead and record it, and then you can always decide later?
Right. We just always tell them it's, if nothing else, now you have something that if you wanted to ever look at this and see, you have it.
Well, especially women, we may not show the whole world, but we'll show at least 3 of our closest people.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're like, can I just have this so I can send this to my friends? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we're getting ready to wrap it up. Do you have a crazy patient or staff story you care to share?
Well, I'll share this one. It was my first year in practice, actually. And I had somebody come in. I did a mommy makeover on her. And, she filed afterwards a fraud charge saying that, that she never had the surgery. And it turns out that HIPAA Actually, it can be temporarily suspended in a case like this because the only way we could prove it was by showing app reports and photos, which we did. Which, okay, you're like, okay, not that crazy. 2 months later, she calls and wants more surgery. And I was just like, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you tried to steal from me before and so we definitely did not continue. I did not end up operating on her again, but I've never had that happen since. But I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, I don't think we can go backwards from this.
I have not heard that. I did hear somebody use somebody else's loan.
Yes, yes, that has happened. Not to me, but I've heard that happening.
But fraudulently. And it came in from out of state, and it was two of them, and the surgeon lost $50K. And he said, I knew I felt funny about this. I said, are you sure this is okay? And they used his recovery center, and the bill was $50K. And sure enough, they got away with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've heard about rings of people doing this. And that's what we check IDs that if it is not in your name, I don't care if it's your husband, your father, they have to physically come in and see it for that to happen.
That was the issue. They didn't have a wet signature.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the
lessons learned for sure.
Signature and driver's license. That part, yeah, okay. Actually, in San Francisco, one year we had this guy, this lunatic who would go to the practices and get filled up with filler and then run out the door.
Catch me if you can.
He got away with it several times, and then finally, it's a very small town, so everyone.
Yeah, people probably just didn't even know what to expect. Is like, is he going to the bathroom?
Totally. Well, it's like the dine and dance. Like, who would expect you to run out the door? Like, it's so crazy. Tell us something interesting we don't know about you.
I am a designer, and I have a jewelry line actually. And it's all medically inspired jewelry line. So I have diamond scalpels, I have breasts, like everything you can think of, and it's all fine jewelry that I started last year.
I don't get it. It's medical. So I would wear medical jewelry.
So for example, I don't know if you could see it, but this bottom one is my design. It's a pair of breasts. Everything is in 18 karat gold and diamonds. And I love jewelry and I love design. And so I really wanted to make something that I thought other women surgeons would enjoy. And it's become bigger than I thought. And so now I have scalpels that we've cast in gold, all sorts of different designs. And now moved into other specialties too. So if you're not medical, you might still like it. There are a lot of them, they're really pretty. But if you're medical, you get what some of the references are.
But you wouldn't use the scalpel in surgery.
No, it's a necklace. It's a necklace. Yeah.
Gotcha. That is so niche that might just work,
We right now, most of our sales are all done at conferences. So.
Oh, no kidding. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm at the conferences. I have to check that out.
Yeah.
So tell us, what is your website, your personal website?
So the easiest is www.drrednam.com.
Rednam, N-A-M, rednam.com. And then your Instagram?
Same. Everything is at Dr. Rednam.
Gotcha. Well, very nice to meet you. You work for a very unusual practice and you're doing unusual work. So the whole thing is very interesting. Good for you.
Well, thank you. I feel like my senior partner, when I joined, he always said, he's like, there's so many amazing plastic surgeons out there. You have to find a way to stand out. Right. And so I feel like we've done that. So
the issue is, how do you do that in a competitive world? And you just get creative. And if you can't do it, like, let's say everyone does something, if you can somehow do it differently, or do it for only a niche market, you think differently, or you only, you have to be so much more creative in today's world. Like, a lot of the doctors came up with a signature, package, and I have a signature package, but like, how many lifts can you have? There's a Z lift and the Z lift and the, so then you start saying, well, who could I do it for a certain kind of woman,
Yeah.
It's just so interesting. I love the world of marketing and differentiating, and how do you find your way in a marketplace that is, busy.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing for me is just being myself, right? Like, I'm myself, and then the people I attract are the people I want to attract. There's plenty of people who'd have zero interest in me, and that's okay, because they're not necessarily the people I want to take care of.
Tell me about it. I work with surgeons, and I learned a long time ago, they said pick a niche. And I thought, I love plastic surgery. I want plastic surgery.
Yeah.
And they need my help. And a million years ago, and my mentor said to me, Catherine, 98% of your marketing message will fall on deaf ears, but you can make 2%. And I said, boy, is that the truth? And that's what it is. It's just, you put it out there and the right people will come to you, and it's never as many as you wished, but it is what it is,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I'll be watching, and I'll see you at the shows at the conference.
Yeah, for sure. Everything's in Houston. A lot of stuff's coming up in Houston this year.
Oh, no kidding. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Everyone, that's going to wrap it up for us today. If you would please subscribe and give me a review at Beauty and the Biz, it would be much appreciated to expand our audience. And then if you've got any questions or comments or feedback for me, please leave them on my website at catherinemaley.com, or you can certainly DM me on Instagram at CatherineMaleyMBA. Thanks so much, and we'll talk again soon. Hello, it's Catherine. If your practice feels busy but you're not seeing the growth you expected, there's usually a reason, and it's often something small that's quietly costing you revenue. That's why I offer a practice growth review. Now, in this call, I'll take an objective look at your patient flow, conversion process, and retention strategies to identify where opportunities may be slipping through the cracks. You'll walk away with a clear picture of what's working, what's not, and the few changes that could make the biggest difference. If you'd like an unbiased set of expert eyes on your practice, simply visit CatherineMaley.com to schedule your review.